Alright guys, this is Konerri from OOW Outdoors again. And today I'm going to be talking about these guys. These are my favorite crankbaits, my top 5 crankbaits. And the reason why they are my top 5 is because I have them tied on a lot and I want money on them. So a lot of people will say they're not good unless you want money on. So these are the ones that I've actually wanted money on. Type of lures that I want money on. So a lot of these are very easy to find at your local stores, and a lot of them are. So let's start with the ones that has won the most amount of money for me, and that is going to be the Rapala DT series of crankbaits. I have it in the DT6, the DT10, whoops, DT10, and the DT16. So there's those 3, but I'm gonna call that 1 because depending where you live, depending on the situation, you might want to throw one or the other. DT is simply dives 2. DT6 dives to 6, DT10 dives to 10, and DT16 dives to 16 feet. So that's what it is. They're not super expensive. They're all under 10 bucks, and that's why I like them. And the other thing is, the difference between this one and the other ones is this one's made by Rapala, and it's a balsa bait. It's a wooden bait. The other ones are all plastic. So wooden baits have a different action, and if you're cranking it through timber, which I like to do, when you're cranking it through timber, you want another wooden bait. It just, for some reason, it bumps the wood better. And when you get hung up and you pop it, this one frees itself a lot better. So that's the crankbaits that I like from Rapala. We're at DT series. They go from DT4 all the way to DT20, but these are the ones I really like. All right, so that's the Rapala. If you're going, but that's like an entire range. So you can pick like a series of crankbaits, and you can actually just fish that series. That's pretty good too. But, you know, different days, different lures, you gotta have them. So a lot of times, especially in the springtime, the fish are a little shallow. So for my shallow divers, I like this one. This is the SPRO Little John. I think a lot of people know about this. It's a little harder to find in stores. This is my go-to. If it's less than 5 feet, that's the little guy I'm going to. Especially when they're feeding a little like bait fish. That's a real good one. And deflects off cover pretty good. I fish around trees a lot. Works really well around timber as well. Little John, it comes with actually pretty good hooks, like some number 5s, Gabagatsus on there. You don't even have to upgrade it. You can fish right out of the box. As for all the Rapalas, you must upgrade the hooks. Their hooks are good, but I wouldn't say they're quality, tournament quality. Alright, another shallow diver. This one is one that is no surprise. I think everybody knows at least this body style, but they might not know the originator who created it. This is the Lucky Craft 1.5. This is the RTO Takahiro Mori edition, and it's just a square bill. In my opinion, from what I've seen, it's the #1 copied body style out there. So Lucky Craft 1.5, legitimate square bill. You can throw it anywhere, crank it around rocks, trees. I don't know, it's proven itself, and pretty much it's proven itself to the world, and it's proven itself to me, so I really like it. Actually, the very first square bill I picked up was actually one of these. The very first bass I caught on a hard bait, on a crankbait, was on one of these, so this to me has a special place in my heart, I'd say. Now, when you're fishing a little bit deeper, but you're still playing with, say, rocks and things like that, but you need like a small profile bait to hit that 10-foot zone, this is the one that's going to do it for me. The Bandit 300 from Fermented. It's a small profile. I upgrade the hooks obviously from the factory. These are number 4s. Yeah, number 4s. And it cranks pretty good. It's not super aggressive, but it's a small profile that can hit about 10 feet on 10-pound line. So not a lot of crankbaits will do that, and especially in this size too. So small crankbait that can dive deep. So this is I'll give you a comparison, right? So what I mean is that's a small crankbait compared to that. This is your Rapala DT10. They both dive about the same depth, and this was much bigger than this one. So depending on the day, you know, if you notice them chasing little shad, that's the one to go to. If they're chasing 2 or 3 inch shad, that's the one to go to. So that's a little tip for you guys too. Cold water crankbaits. Cold water crankbaits, this is my favorite. This is the SPRO rock crawler. It's basically an updated wiggle work. It's slightly different in some ways, but for the most part, it's got a real wide action. It's a crankbait throw year round actually, but more towards the winter for some reason. But I know it's good around rocks, things like that. It's always around clear water lakes is where I throw it a lot. SPRO comes with pretty good hooks already, but once again, I still upgrade them to get that tournament quality. And once you go beyond that 10-foot zone, now being on a kayak most of the times, you really don't fish much deeper than 15. So that 10 to 15-foot zone, I basically, to me, that's fishing offshore. Anything more than 10 feet, you're fishing offshore. So I throw the 6XD a little bit every once in a while, but this is always my go-to. The 5XD from Strike King, and in this color as well. This is that sexy shad with a little blue on top. For some reason, like, people always tell you don't throw this color because it's overdone, but at the same time, shad looks like this. So, it's number one for me. I've caught a lot, and if you can see, this one's got a lot of battle scars on it, a lot of teeth marks, a lot of hook rashes, and the bill has been filed down a little bit. So, that's what it is. I mean, that's how you know this crankbait works. Crankbait that you pull out of your box and it's got a lot of scars on it because that's when you throw a lot. That's when you catch a lot of fish on. And once again, upgrade the hooks. Hooks on Strike King baits are just trash, in my opinion. So upgrade them and they'll be better. They'll work better for you. You won't lose as much fish, trust me. I learned that the hard way. I lost a tournament one time because the fish jumped off. Here's the other one that I've been playing with. I think is sooner or later it's going to be in the lineup. This is the Dual Realis M65 11A. A lot of people have already fallen in love with this, but it still hasn't proven itself 100%. But it's at that 95% mark right now. Because I don't know exactly when to throw it yet. On these other lures, I know exactly when and where to throw it. But this one, I haven't found its niche yet. But I'm still working on it. But it's a really good one, especially this one is some of the rarer ones, and the reason why I picked this one up is because of its color. A lot of the Dual Realis, when you go into the ghost colors, in my opinion, this company has one of the best ghost patterns out there. I mean, you might not be able to see it, but this is a bluegill pattern, but it's ghost. I mean, you can see through it, but it's still got a bluegill, like, translucent paint job on it. It works really good in clear water. I remember fishing with my brother one time, and he was throwing a spy bait, and I was throwing this, and I was out fishing him 5-1. So, certain situations will call for a clear crankbait, and I don't know. It's just like I said, it's a great crankbait. So it'll work itself into this box. But those are my go-to crankbaits. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost 7, so those are definitely in the top crankbaits I like to throw, year round, basically. Depending on what depth they're at, I like to throw a certain different one, or whatever kind of cover they're in. So if it's wood covered, then I'll throw a square bill. If the wood is real shallow, or if the wood's 15 feet and you're fishing standing timber, throw a DT 16. I've won 2 big bass tournaments like that, so that's always it's a good one for me. And if they're on rocks, clear water, then I tend to throw this one a little bit more. And I usually burn it. That's the thing too. You gotta burn your crankbaits in clear water. But that's kind of my weekly tip for you guys. Just kind of showing everybody what I'm throwing. So if you have any questions as to why I picked these, why I didn't pick some other brands that you might like, maybe I've already fished it and didn't like it for some reason. I can also give you some feedback on that too. But pretty much, yeah. That's it. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. If this video helped you out a little bit, give it a thumbs up. I need it. And share it with some of your friends who are starting to get into the crankbait game, because some of these are really easy to find, and readily available at your local shop. So if you found this video if you found the video like helpful, then help me out too. Share it with your buddy, and if these series of videos go good, then we'll definitely upload a lot more. Alright guys, thanks. See you next time.